Welcome everyone to the stream, NEFX streams. I'm Admin1 of NEFX. Today is November 4th, 2022, and we are continuing where we left off yesterday. Well, in a way we aren't. Basically we're doing the same thing in the sense that we're going to be covering a text piece, a map for Marathon, and a music track, once again featuring Eddie Dingle. But today we're basically starting from scratch with new pieces. Well, I suppose not with the map, because where we left off with the map yesterday, I'd finished the general shape of some kind of insect, which is really kind of an amalgamation of various insect traits, if you will. Basically just an exercise in seeing what happens in game when you start with like a basic sort of design visually in the overhead medium. So we'll see where that goes. But we are going to start with some writing here, so let's go right to it. And what is our prompt for today? Well, perhaps it's not so surprising, but I've been thinking about Hegel again, George Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel, the rather seminal 18th to 19th century philosopher. And in part I'm thinking about him, but also about his canonization, which of course is very divergent, since there were, just off the top of my head, young Hegelians and old Hegelians. But that's just scratching the surface in terms of how many different interpretations there have been of his work, to the point where he himself, apparently on his deathbed, said, "And no one understood me," or something to that effect. But it goes even beyond mere canonization of Hegel into, and I don't even know how to pronounce it, Hegel. There's been like many opinions on that, but I think it's Hegel. But also just to, I guess, the idea of canonization in general in philosophy and the way that it's been brought out. I think that in itself deserves to be called into question. So I think that's actually where I may start with this writing piece. And over time we'll get into maybe more of the specifics of his thought and all its ramifications, because that has sort of haunted me for a better part of over a decade, really. So, where to begin? I actually think I had some preliminary notes. I'm going to see if I can find them in here. I will try not to tarry for too long in finding them. But by the way, how's everyone doing? I did see a couple people viewing. I saw Windbreaker, which is a cool thing. And I know that you're all just dying to ring in the Friday night with NEFX here. Just watching me create my inventions. Sorry, I have an itchy nose right now, so you may have to bear with that for a while. Where did I put the notes is the question. I think it was in one of those split notes apps. Split screen notes apps, yeah. See if I still have them, yeah. Alright, so sort of like a starting prompt went as follows, and I may modify it, especially as I go forward with the actual text, because sometimes when I start on the text at a different point, in a different frame of mind, context, etc., it ends up quite different and maybe going more in a different direction, which is part of why I'm totally interested in revisiting some subjects and even occasionally repeating things. But alright, no more blank document, here we go. So, wanted all the grades, history, purposes, context, hegemonic interest, from according to biological phantasms and regional depraved purposes and inputs. Yeah, so I think that says it all, really. To degree, this also is bolstered by the general ambition sought after optimism. The, let's see, thinkers. So for that matter, I'm going to clarify what I'm mainly thinking of in the first instance. Then especially if I'm curious. For the audience seeking to canonize them, and even hubris thinkers such as me, really. Which may be pathologically consciously influenced by that very idea of being part of but maybe it'd be like an ultimate demographic. Oh, hello, John Irons. Wow, got Windbreaker and John Irons in here, though Windbreaker seems to have maybe left. He had asked me how Eddie Dingle was, and I think he's doing all right. He certainly seems to be more on the rise all the time. But anyway, yes, doing pretty well, John Irons, and even better now that you're in here. How are you doing? So, let's see. Being part of people. So I think I finished all that I had written before. Yeah, so I could just set that aside and to carry on with where I was. Indeed. Oneself and others, to the idea of having achieved the culmination of all previous thought. It seemed intoxicating, especially elusive, but almost graspable it may be. Actually, come to think of it, this kind of calls back to what I was saying and writing about the past couple of nights with regard to the whole manipulating agent thing, which may or may not have been influenced to a degree by the plot of Mayor Orthon Huge in the terminals. So you never know, maybe something might be coming back. But I don't think it'll be the playthrough, at least not anytime soon. So, working through the whole idea of canonization of people of history here. These enterprises, the first is a big question of what all represent or speak on. Oh wow, John Irons said, good news, a truckload of switches is headed to my house, which means I'll be able to start working on your sequencer soon. Damn, that'll be amazing. I'd even love to see if you have any more like pictures or clips of like demonstrations of how they work. And to that point, I've been thinking more lately about making more tracks with that old recorded material with the last device you sent me, or devices I should say, because there's still some stuff to be found in there, and maybe I'll even go forward into the soundtrack for the next Hell Pack. That'd be great. Even conceive of seems to might be entails to a degree. maximum of all the thinker themselves does in fact think of. Such as concerning nature, logic, or spirit. For that matter, the keys of logic and yeah, it will be awesome. There's definitely at least one track that I've almost finished actually from that material that is, I think, better than the ones I've released so far. Because I think I'm getting better at how to compose with those sounds. Like, I'm so used to composing using a certain type of sound or material, and that one is like, it's obviously very rhythmic, but still almost like a controlled chaos, and generally not tonal in the way that we would think of as tonal. And so making something magical out of that, you know, is actually maybe a bit harder than it might seem to some people. But I don't know, people really like the help pack tracks. So for them, I'm recording hierarchies of logic and things and thinkers must be clearly drawn out. Hopefully the signature will be very intuitive, but I'll make a video manual. Yeah, I think I'll gain something from both learning knowing the manual, especially for purposes of safety and not messing up the devices, much like you gave me in the written form for the last devices, and just trying out for myself. Maybe I'll find something kind of totally weird in the cracks of it that is even glitchy by its own standards of like sounding like a glitch. It'll be totally crazy. So for that matter, the recording areas of logic and term is quickly drawn out. Yeah, it is concerned. Constructs and lives. Looking forward to new material. Yeah, well, I think that this this ongoing stream I've been having basically on a nightly basis has already been good for me, making more stuff. Something about having that kind of interface with the audience, even if it's not usually in the moment, it helps. It feels better, and I think I've done enough different types of music that it's about time to do more of the noise drum stuff, the sequencer stuff, the devices stuff, the irons core stuff. Especially since you've been so generous and contributing and everything. Like, I've got to do it now for sure. So I think it won't be too long before you start hearing more of that stuff, and it becomes like its own sizable section of NEFX releases. Let's see, where was I? So Talbin might be characterized i.e. something objective instead of subjective. Or subjective. Yeah, there we go. Excuse me. Having a hard time getting words out here. Yeah, it's true. There's technically no obligations, but I think I should anyway. I mean, I do also really like doing it, but yeah, the gear will definitely be useful. I'll find some way. In fact, I might even make a stream of it too. Like I know I've talked. It seems like for years now I've teased about doing like a live experimentation with stuff or a live jam on stream, and that might be a good thing to do it with, especially because there's multiple devices and the setup looks pretty cool. Although I'd have to work to try and get it all like within the screen or make it visible. So I got my whole little mad scientist workshop set up right there, and people can hear the creation of stuff as it's happening, hear history being made. Consider racing such projects until working through principles that transcend the articulation, principles that transcend the context of the day, i.e. time, place, culture, etc. Actually, I'll be right back. Just a bit. Okay, I'm back. So, what I was getting at is that it seems a common quandary with some of the, big thinkers of history is basically that often they seek to, create works expressing principles that kind of transcend the time and place and culture in which they are mired. But ironically, many of those who may read them may actually interpret and even misappropriate them according to their own lens, which is confined to those very same things, and whether they're for or against what's being expressed in the thinker's works. So, thinking that, I guess, just being so caught up in the moment-to-moment of, the present, what we might call flavor of the week things going on, that they can't help but interpret the thinker's work, through that lens, as being like some form of apologia for it, or doing it outright, or something like that. So that's what I was thinking of that kind of spawned this sentence here. see, I think active might be a better, broader term for that. We're sitting upon it. Also acknowledging limits of the project. The RN should be explained methods of transcending such operate as much as possible. Self-consciousness and reason, or even things like recognition, or just maybe the term freedom, although again, thinking about, you know, the issues of context, that term seems very loaded in this one. But oh, that's right. Yeah, have a good night, John Irons. Thanks very much for coming down. And maybe when you come around one of these next few days, I might be working on an Irons core piece. Let's see. There's also the such a project between the principles of the between the stated principles of the ultimate common earthly and social realities. And here we may even find that to work with the latter, work with and through the latter, more immediate and visible, better allow one to infer from its realities those very principles by a sort of backward or uprising chain of logic, provided, of course, that this proper logical chain is known of and ideally articulated in the work. Okay, yeah. So it's sort of an interesting paradox there where, you know, we would seek to derive our measures, or, you know, our kind of social, structural, political measures from first principles, but that those things would be so elusive that we would have to a degree, observe the here and now and kind of work our way back, since that is more immediate, more knowable. It's sort of like growing from the ground. Just naturally require of contemplation, abstraction, and especially respect for being as such. Yeah, I'm just sort of thinking about it here. It's something to think a lot about. Anyone who's in the audience, let me know what you think, if anything. So maybe thinking further on the matter, even if on some level, at least in theory, the project, both in theory and in its actual, well, I guess practice or, working through, was valid, to what degree does it possess blind spots by its being conceived through even so much as a basic material condition that allows it to be created? How many people out there did not have the means that some of us, including myself, or maybe Hegel or whoever, have had, that they would have the time, the means, the energy to dedicate to such a project like this? So many people who have something akin to that in their heads, perhaps even better, but that ironically history has squandered, broadly human society has squandered. So I guess that'll be something I'll write about with this sentence. Potential validity of such a project would so much as basic material conditions that allow the luxury of working on it, and thus entail many blind spots that further self-perpetuating canonization by the in which the thinker operated only exacerbates. Like, for example, if someone like, say, Hegel was the son of a government official or something like that, people like this come from these sorts of positions of privilege, really. presumption of ability by the thinker from a younger or otherwise vulnerable or tractable stage. Just in the most generous forms of education and instruction. Providence, etc. The granted station could offer. Like, I think about Hegel again. He was like went to Royal High School and was very highly educated early on in all the known classics, which again, even just the word classics, like in such a context, also hints at this continual canonization, which itself may also be steeped. Wait a minute. Which themselves may also be steeped in the same rigid and imposed canon to which that same thinker may later come to belong on some level. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for now. That's definitely a text piece right there. So I'm going to switch over to mapping. And to that point, I'm actually going to start playing some Bowl of Heaven. Give a listen to the not the latest record, but another pretty recent one called Murmuring. What's it called? The title's blocked off here. Murmuring Endearments is what it's called. Alright, so now I'm going to go to Wayland. We'll see if we can finish up that bugged piece tonight. Damn it. Just slightly changing a few things. This is part of what one must always look beyond the canon. In fact, I think always look beyond the canon is going to be the title of the text piece. I'm calling it right now. Just going to save the text piece, and then I'll start mapping. It's being so painfully slow. This computer used to be so fast. Alright, just gonna open up that map. What is this thing doing? Maybe always look beyond the holes of canon. Why does it struggle with the most basic shit? Okay. So now opening up. What the hell? It says couldn't communicate with the helper application. What does that mean? You won't let me save a text file? That's stupid. Alright, well, I'll find out what to do later. Alright, so here we are with the bug design. And I'm going to add some more stuff because these would be too big of rooms. I actually think that I'm going to change this up a bit. I'm going to make these a little bug eyes, basically. Risk in the Marathon Discord is asking what kind of banquet should I fire up to go with this? Salisbury steaks with the chicken nugget meal. I think you should stick with mixed vegetables and fish with Tabasco. In fact, I'm going to answer that to him right now. Tabasco on everything. Let's see. I think that about conveys it. Maybe I'll add a little bit more holes on there. Maybe it's fine as it is. It's mostly fine anyway. Here, I can do that. There we go, that's better. Yeah, I'm really gonna get a new computer soon. I think I might have the financial means, and when I do, I'm going to get something that's definitely more stream friendly. Because this is so choppy and slow. I'll even get a Windows machine if that's what it takes to have a smooth stream. If I can play Marathon on it, write on it, and use Logic Pro X on it, then I'm probably set. Okay, so what should I add from here? So I think these wings should have at least something resembling like sort of like scales in a way. All these lines going down this way. Alright, gonna get about 3 lines in each. Yeah, that's close enough. We will even remove this part here. Yeah, so that way there's not that level of crossover. It takes so long to just remove these here. So how slow this thing is. Keeps skipping over things I tell it to delete. Just gives the pinwheel at everything. Alright, well that's good enough. Now I'm just going to add the missing leg here. Okay, there we go. So then, where do we go from here? Oh, some kind of cryptic sigils right about here. But I think I'm going to do this maybe off stream because this is just so delayed and it takes too long to do anything. I'm barely further along than when I started today. So I'm going to do some music stuff. I might do this off stream or later on or something. I really need to get a new computer. It's pretty bad. So let's see, I'm going to load up Logic Pro X. Well, I might as well turn the music off since I'll be working with my own music. That's going to take forever to load this up too. I can write pretty well with this, and it seems like I was able to do music fairly well, but for some reason mapping with this level of lag just doesn't seem to work very good at all. Or it seemed like it worked well enough last night, but for some reason today it seems worse. Maybe in the meantime what I might do in the future is that I will find a way to live stream using my phone pointed at the computer. And, you know, I know you'll miss my face and everything, but it'll be back someday. Of course, I also need to find the right way to set the phone up or standing up. I know I have a phone stand somewhere around here that I had for that purpose. So I have to set it on the surface, maybe about right there. Then maybe I would occasionally kind of, you know, peek around like, hi, something like that. And that way there wouldn't be such a lag with doing all this stuff, because it's kind of annoying. I don't know if there's like an OBS app. I don't imagine so. It'd be cool to keep like the live stream thing, or yeah, the pre-stream thing, I mean. Of course, in the meantime, I could also turn down resolution big time. But at that point, I don't even know if you'll be able to see anything that I have on screen or make it out. Like, I don't know if you'll be able to make out words in my text file. You might be able to make out like a general shape or pattern in the maps. I'll find some way. But I would ideally like to just have smooth, high-quality streams without any problems. It's like all the big, renowned streamers have, even if I don't intend to make stuff like they do. By the way, right as I finally got to load up Logic Pro X, Eddie Dingle texted me saying that the latest NEFX track featuring him is groovy. That's the one that I just released today, that we finished last night, so things are going well still. All right. So here we go again. I'm going to listen to another blob. And I think in about 35 minutes I'll be done for tonight. We'll see about different implements going forward. Sort of getting to a swing groove here. That's like a galloping thing right about here. So I guess that's the beat that I settled on ultimately. We're out of the swing portion that we were in for much of the material in the last video, at least for now. I made it a point in this session to switch drum beats fairly often to keep a certain amount of rhythmic variety, so it's not just like one stock beat playing over and over and over with no variation, especially because I don't think the keyboards we were using necessarily had like punch-in drum fill functions like some of the keyboards do, so in that regard I made it more of a point to keep things switched up and interesting. So here's the galloping. So far sounds pretty generic. I think I was still finding a groove here because I switched pretty fast. Things just kind of diddle around for a bit. Yep, still searching for beats, the right beats that I want here. Still searching. Possibly building something here, but it's basically out of sync, so it sounds really choppy. So I think right about here is where things start to get more coherent. Yeah, so I think this is where I would start it. Alright, just remove all the stuff before that. So some interesting stuff here. At the beginning I hear the higher pitched line. I think that might be me. This sort of rhythmic pattern sounds like something I would do, but I can't be certain whether it's me or Eddie. But listening back to it, it feels like there is kind of a positive sounding melody under which more menacing but melodically in sync, melodically matching foreboding melody is starting to creep up. That's what I'm hearing. I like to maybe capture that and seg it smoothly into what comes after that, which is more uniformly minor sounding. Yeah, so that starts right about here. Yeah, it like takes the plunge right about there, so move this a couple times. Here we go. This sounds like something I've heard a lot of before, so trying to hear like a distinctive phrase out of this. Yeah, I think maybe around here. That's where like the lead line starts to get pretty angular and consistent, and okay, right about here. Maybe get that loop about here. This is cool because there's like consistent lines from both of us, but they converge at different points each time. So it helps basically write itself. Yeah, right about here is where it stops. Should that from the beginning. Looks like this is starting to search again for a good spot. It's like kind of fading out of what it was, but it's not quite sick enough to be like a real coherent part. Searching for a beat again here, I see. Yeah, it's cool. Kind of this, that offbeat plunk. It starts right here. It's good, like tapering off thing. This at the same time sounds punchier, so it sounds like it could be a build up to something bigger. So go up here. Yeah, I can loop it back. It starts here. Still, that plonk is repetitive enough that I might just loop this one once, like this. Sounds like it's sort of rumbling. Yeah, I think it's mostly redundant. I mean, it starts getting interesting here with the staccato riffing here. So it's kind of emotional underneath it. I think this is about where it starts. It's kind of cool because there's still remnants of the old section in there, but that staccato part starts to take over and lead more. It's cool because Eddie Jingle's chordal phrase is slowly rising, kind of harmonizing with it. This starts going to its own kind of plonking thing. I start doing more kind of lead solo. That's cool. Eddie and I did our own respective consistent riffs. Yeah, that one's pretty easy too. How much time has elapsed so far? Yeah, about 2 minutes.